What if the first sign of dementia doesn't look like forgetfulness at all? What if it starts quietly, as a moment of confusion in a familiar place? Imagine this. You've lived in the same home for 30 years. You walk into your kitchen, but suddenly you freeze. You're not sure why you came in. You look around, feeling a strange sense of disconnection, like your brain and body aren't quite in sync. You laugh it off. Just another senior moment, you say? But somewhere inside, it doesn't feel normal anymore. Today, we're going to uncover the early signs of dementia, the subtle clues that most people mistake for simple aging. If you or someone you love is over 60, this is a conversation worth staying for. Because the earlier you recognize the signs, the more you can do to protect your memory, your independence, and your peace of mind. So stay until the end, because we'll not only reveal the hidden early symptoms, but also what you can start doing right now to support a healthy brain at any age. And if you find this video valuable, please don't forget to subscribe. It truly helps us reach more families who need to hear this message. Section 1. The Story of Helen. Let me tell you about Helen. Helen was 82, a retired teacher, beloved grandmother, and a woman known for her sharp mind. She loved crossword puzzles, classical music, and hosting Sunday lunches for her family. One morning, she walked into the kitchen and opened a refrigerator, but stood there staring, unsure why she had opened it. A few days later, she forgot her neighbor's name, someone she greeted every morning for 20 years. Then came the day she got lost driving to her church, a place she'd been going to for half her life. Her daughter thought she was just tired, maybe stressed. But inside, Helen felt something different, a fog creeping in, a quiet fear that she couldn't explain. These were not just senior moments. They were the earliest signs of dementia, often invisible to others, but deeply unsettling to the person experiencing them. Section 2. What dementia really is. Let's take a moment to understand what dementia really means. Dementia is not a single disease. It's a syndrome, a collection of symptoms that affect memory, reasoning, and behavior. The most common form is Alzheimer's disease, but there are others: vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal dementia, and more. But here's something few people realize. The changes that cause dementia begin years before symptoms appear. Tiny proteins start to build up in the brain. Nerve cells begin to weaken. Connections between neurons start to fade, long before you notice any memory loss. That's why recognizing the early signs can make such a difference. Because early detection means early action, lifestyle changes, brain support, and medical help that can slow the progression dramatically. Section 3. The first early signs most people miss. Now let's talk about what these early signs actually look like. They're often subtle, so subtle that most people dismiss them. 1. Confusion in familiar places. This is one of the earliest red flags. You might walk into a familiar room and forget why you went there. You might drive to the store and suddenly forget the route. Or you might stand in front of your mailbox, unsure what you were about to do. These moments of confusion, when they become frequent, aren't just aging. They're a sign the brain's spatial and short-term memory systems are struggling. 2. Repeating questions or stories. Everyone repeats themselves sometimes. But when someone starts asking the same question multiple times in one conversation, or retelling the same story days in a row without realizing it, that's a strong early sign of memory loss. It's not forgetfulness of facts, it's forgetfulness of having asked or told something. That's how dementia subtly alters self-awareness. 3. Losing track of time. Early dementia can blur the sense of time. People might confuse what day it is or think something happened yesterday when it was last week. They might even mix up morning and night. This happens because dementia affects the hippocampus, the brain's timekeeper. 4. Struggling to find the right words. Have you ever had that feeling where the word is on the tip of your tongue? For people in early dementia, that feeling becomes constant. They might call everyday objects by strange names, the thing instead of remote, or that round thing instead of clock. This subtle language change often appears months before memory issues are even noticed. 5. Poor judgment or decision-making. One of the saddest but most telling early signs is poor financial or personal judgment. People may start giving away money unexpectedly, fall for scams, or neglect bills they used to manage carefully. This isn't carelessness. It's a result of the frontal lobe losing some of its filtering power. 6. Personality and mood changes. Dementia doesn't just affect memory. It affects emotions. Someone who was calm and patient may suddenly become irritable or withdrawn. Others may show signs of anxiety, fear, or even depression for no clear reason. It's the brain's emotional circuits signaling distress. 7. Withdrawing from social activities. As confusion increases, people often pull away from friends, clubs, or conversations because they sense something's wrong but can't explain it. This withdrawal is one of the saddest signs loved ones overlook. If you're still watching, take a second to like this video. It helps others find it, and it tells YouTube this topic matters. And remember, we're not sharing this to create fear. We're sharing it to build awareness and hope. Section 4. Why early detection matters. Here's a truth many families don't hear soon enough. Catching dementia early doesn't cure it, but it changes everything. Early detection allows doctors to identify reversible causes of memory loss, like vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid problems, or medication side effects. It also allows you to begin brain protective habits before too much damage occurs. When caught early, dementia treatments, even simple lifestyle adjustments, can preserve independence for years longer. That means more time for conversation, for family, for life. Helen, from our story earlier, was lucky. Her family took her to a memory clinic early on. She was diagnosed in the very first stage of Alzheimer's. With diet changes, mental exercises, and a structured routine, she continued living independently for several years, peacefully, joyfully, and safely. Section 5. What you can do right now. If you're worried about yourself or someone you love, here's what you can do, starting today. 1. Get a memory checkup. Doctors can run simple cognitive tests to measure your memory, focus, and language. They might also check for reversible issues like dehydration, medication effects, or low nutrients. It's not about labels, it's about clarity and prevention. 2. Feed your brain right. The brain thrives on omega-3 fats, leafy greens, berries, and whole grains. Research shows the MIND diet, a mix of the Mediterranean and DASH diets, can reduce dementia risk by up to 53%. So eat your spinach, walnut, and blueberries. Drink plenty of water. And limit sugar, fried foods, and processed snacks. 3. Keep the mind active. Crossword puzzles, reading, storytelling, or even learning something new all strengthen neural connections. Every time you challenge your brain, you build mental reserve backup pathways that protect against decline. 4. Stay socially connected. Isolation is one of the biggest accelerators of cognitive decline. Engage in conversations, share meals, or volunteer. Human connection is one of the brain's most powerful protectors. 5. Move every day. You don't need a gym. A 20-minute walk, dancing, or light gardening increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, keeping memory sharp and mood stable. 6. Sleep deeply. Sleep is when your brain clears out waste proteins that contribute to dementia. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality rest every night. 7. Manage stress. Chronic stress damages the hippocampus, the memory center. Try gentle breathing, prayer, or spending time in nature. Calmness protects your mind. Section 6. When to see a doctor. So when should you be concerned enough to see a doctor? Here's a simple rule of thumb. Occasional forgetfulness is normal, but frequent confusion, disorientation, or personality change, that's not. If you notice these 3 things, get checked. Losing track of familiar places or people. Repeating the same question or story. Trouble handling everyday tasks. The earlier you seek help, the better your outcome can be. Section 7. Hope, not fear. Dementia is not the end of your story. It's a chapter, one that can still be written with grace, care, and love. Helen lived with dementia for nearly a decade, but she laughed often, listened to her favorite songs, and still recognized her daughter's voice until her final days. That's the power of awareness. That's the gift of early action. So if this message touched your heart, take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need to hear it. Because understanding the early signs could save not only a memory, but a life. Your mind is precious. Cherish it, protect it, and never ignore its whispers, Because sometimes a quiet moment of confusion is your brain asking for help.